And we made it.
Hi, everyone. I am Seth Rudetsky.
I'm James Wesley. Welcome to Stars in the House.
This is our new, we're trying this position now just for lighting.
Literally each day we've had a new position of doing this. So we are trying, Seth is sending Dr. LaPook the link so he can be in the house.
Yes,
Backstage is what they call it on StreamYard. Anyway, welcome to Stars in the House while Seth's giving Dr. LaPook the link. It is our now twice daily chat series.
It's for the Actors Fund. Yes, chat actorsfund.org. And it's a misnomer. The Actors Fund is not just for actors, it's for anybody in show business. So actors, singers,
any
musicians.
professional in the entertainment industry, and that is across the country.
Regional theater, box office people, TV, script supervisors, words I don't know.
Symphonies, ballets, operas.
Key grips, best boys, professions I don't know what they mean, but I always see them on the credit scroll. Anybody. And people go to the Actors Fund for help, for paying their rent, for paying medical bills, for just understanding unemployment, for mental health. Actors Fund is amazing. They need more money than ever because basically nobody is working. First of all, no one in performing arts works in the first place, basically. But on top of that, no one really is working. And the way the Actors Fund makes money, everything's been canceled. Their biggest fundraiser of the year, honoring Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker, canceled. Ragtime is sold out. It's supposed to happen in 2 weeks. I don't see how that's going to be possible. They were going to raise so much money. That's canceled. So they need money more than ever, yet people are, and they need more than ever, but they're getting even less money being brought in. What's happening regionally? Can we talk about that?
Well, I wanted to say a few, because here's the bright spot. These are the donations actually that came in at the end of the afternoon show. Speaking of reunions, the Beetlejuice reunion. So I wanted to give a shout out to these people, and then I'll go into our grand total as of last night. And that is, I'm going to name a few names here. Stephanie from Florida gave $50. Sophia from Texas, $40. Jay from Illinois, $75.
Wow.
Ryan from Washington, $25. Amanda from South Carolina, $25. Andrew from Florida, $50. Brian from Massachusetts gave $100. Alex from Illinois, $25. And Judy from Oklahoma, $150. And that leads to a grand total, this is actually as of last night, $111,250 to the Actors Fund that we've raised since, with everyone's help that's watching and the performers.
Yeah, tomorrow's our official 2-week anniversary.
Right.
And as you see, the donations are like 30, like literally from $5 to like 100. The average, it says 40. We don't have any corporate sponsorship. It's just amazingly generous people calling these donations, well, whatever the hell it's called, emailing. The point is making these donations over $100,000. Okay, what else do we have to talk about?
Well, I wanted to talk about, speaking of one of those donations was from Texas. I wanted to give a shout out, that's right, to my friends in Dallas. So going back a little bit, after 9/11, I really thought, oh, what's the point of the arts? I was going to go into the medical field. I had moved to New York to pursue acting. I'd moved from LA and I'd lived here for a couple of years, and 9/11 happened. And I thought, what the hell am I doing? Arts aren't important and all that nonsense, right? So I moved to Texas. And when I was in Dallas, I went to this theater called Uptown Players. And they had a production of Kiss of the Spider Woman, which I had seen 6 times with Peter Rivera that he played on Broadway.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
my God, how
and I was like, wow, it's so amazing. I remembered how transformative theater is, and it didn't have to be on Broadway. It could be anywhere in any theater.
And P.S. I was talking to Miranda Sings, aka Colleen Ballinger.
Right.
She finally made her Broadway debut in Waitress, and it's the answer I get from everyone. I said, did you feel different being on Broadway than just doing a high school show? And she basically was like, no. Theater is the same all over the country. Of course, it's cool to be on Broadway, and you're like, I'm on Broadway, and you have an expensive costume. But it's the same thing as doing high school theater, community theater, regional theater. Theater is all the same across the country.
So it was that production of Kiss of the Spider Woman that I saw at Uptown Players in Dallas. It was like, oh, I need to go back to this. This is who I am. And then I saw The Life, which of course later on I'd become friends with Lily's wife because of this one. And then I ended up doing Andrew Lippa's Wild Party, which was the first show I had done in a number of years, and was like, oh, this is what I was meant to do. And so they wrote me. They did Disaster last year at this time, right?
They did an amazing production.
They did an amazing production.
They're great theater.
And so they Jeff Rain and Craig Lynch, who are going to join us later this week, because they're going to talk about the impact that this is having all across the country, as we all know. But Jeff sent me, I don't know if Seth, if you want to play it, but they sent me this video of me doing the show. But they also wanted to talk about Fun Home, because Fun Home was actually their show that they were going to start rehearsals in like like when this all happened.
They were going to start it on like the 13th.
Right.
So
exactly.
right when rehearsals were about to begin for Fun Home.
Yeah, they were supposed to start rehearsals March.
kibosh.
Let me put on my glasses. They were going to start rehearsals March 16th. They'd already done a photo shoot, and then on March 12th. They were loading the sets and the lights in. And then on March 13th is when the city of Dallas, announced that they basically couldn't do it.
So it's not just Broadway that's shut down.
Exactly.
Theater is, TV, film, theater, everything is shut down around the country. So when Jeff comes on, we're going to show a video from James from yesteryear when he comes on.
But let's, before we go into Fun Home, why don't we show their production photo?
This was going to happen. This is
because I know the whole cast there is watching in Dallas. So
they
shout out. It's going to happen. But so this today's show is because I'm friends with all of them, is in dedication to you guys and to other productions all over the country that have been postponed.
And this show is a Fun Home reunion.
That's right.
So I'm getting so many emails from people that are obsessed with this show. So I can't wait to bring this cast on. Is there anything else I want to talk about?
I think that's it. I think we're ready to go.
Okay. So as you're watching, if you can see the little stream. You can donate at. That's right. Oh, that's the one thing. Oh, okay. Listen, we just started.
Oh, right.
New social media. We have this amazing team working for free.
Spotco.
The amazing
shout out to them.
Broadway merchant. Incredible. But can you please follow us? Two things. Can you please copy and paste the link for this video?
That's right.
Share it with everyone. The more people that watch, first of all, the more people that are going to just be in a good mood. These shows are really fun and they make you feel close. And the more people that are going to donate. Right. So please copy and paste this link in all of your Facebook, your Twitter, and go, oh my God, watch this right now. It's amazing. Right. Second of all, please follow us on Instagram, Twitter. It's so old school. We're literally at Stars in the House.
Why is that old school?
Well, because
it has an @ sign. That's not old school. That's new school.
Correct. So anyway, we're on Instagram, Facebook. We are everywhere. If you follow us, you'll see all the videos, photos, behind the scenes shenanigans, and you'll help get our views up. It's literally all about views. I'm telling you, we get letters from all over the world.
There are actually quite a few letters. For the sake of time, we'll read another a day. But from Brazil, there was one someone who's watching it there. It's kind of incredible.
We got one from these guys who clean airplanes, saying that they're basically losing their jobs and watching the show gives them hope. It's so nice. So I saw that photo, that amazing photo of the nurses watching it.
Yeah, it's right there.
Which one is it?
Right here.
Oh, this is I think it's two doctors or two nurses watching. This is them on a break.
Bottom line is two people on the front lines here in New York City, and a mental break on our lunch break. And it was I sobbed when I saw that. It goes to the power of why this cast is here and the power of theater and music. So
so much to talk about.
Bring them on.
Okay, so I'm first going to bring on everybody, and then I'm going to start moving them around because we're not allowed to have so many people on stream.
We can only have 6 different frames on StreamYard at a time.
So who? Well, don't forget, by the way, Dr. John LaPook is coming later. But
that's right.
We have a lot of people named Allison. So first, we've got the fabulous middle Allison, Emily. Hi, Em. Okay, you're. Oh, I muted you for some reason. Sorry, you were passive.
No, I muted me.
Okay.
That's obnoxious. Okay, then we have the youngest Allison. She's just an angel.
Hi, Sydney.
How are you? Hi, Emily. Hi, Sid.
You guys catch up later. Then we have an older Allison literally in front of a fire. Beth Malone.
Hi, Beth.
Hi.
And then we have
Look. Nice.
Oh, Fun Home Cup marketing.
Look, it's all messed up.
Then we have the mom.
Fun Home. I have one too.
Then we have the mother who's saying to you, don't you ever come back here. The fabulous Judy Kuhn. Hi, Jude.
Friends. Look,
And
I
then
have
we have
my
the
Fun Home t-shirt and my Fun Home sweatshirt on.
And then we have the dad, and for this, because we're all want to be in good moods, the dad was a wonderful happy ending in our version of Fun Home. Michael Cerberus.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Michael.
I have no Fun Home swag at all.
Okay, our first segment is we're gonna have Judy and M. So I'm gonna bring you guys all back later. So Michael's gonna come back later. Come back later. Hold on, Judy and M. So Judy come back later.
And
hi guys.
We're back.
Hi.
First of all, you broke my heart with that story about the show in Texas. But then you made me so happy to see my dear friends' faces.
Here's the poster again. It's gonna happen, people. It's gonna happen.
And I mean, we're all experiencing the same heartbreak in different ways.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, everyone wants just some insight. There's so many Fun Home people watching. What's your favorite memory of doing the show? And I know that, I mean, in terms of, let's say, audience people approaching me and going, oh my God, because of you,
Oh, I think it was just really beautiful and a privilege to be able to sit with people after the show and have the show resonate after the curtain dropped, even though, we had no curtain really. And experience that with them and have people open up. And, you like to think that whatever you do in life, it's going to mean something to someone, even in just a small way. And it's really a privilege to have that. I think that's one of my favorite things about being an actor is when you do make a connection with someone through your performance. It's a really special thing. And Fun Home, we had that every night.
Do you think any actual people came out after seeing your performance?
Oh yeah, we got letters, and I have a couple of people who I still talk to and keep in touch with who came out to us and to their families after the show. And yeah, I mean, I came out to myself too, in a way, So I think it's an important thing for a lot of people. And this is a funny story. I'm actually wearing the T-shirt that I auditioned in, which is like. It's like a green medium Allison shirt. Crazy.
What did you sing for your audition?
I sang Changing My Major. They had us sing Changing My Major.
Oh, your big
That's
song.
kind of it. The big one.
Okay, so Judy Kuhn, this was no Metropolis. Let's just say that. So in terms of...
Why? Oh.
I have to. Okay, so just to be
Emily, it's so wrong.
Just to be shallow, because I don't think Emily knows this story. Please tell Emily what happened when you went out to lunch with your friend and you were like, "We're moving to Broadway and we're going to be doing it in the round." Please tell Emily what your friend made you do.
Oh my God, I can't believe.
I remember every story. Don't tell me anything.
Never tell a story to Seth because he might then in front of hundreds or maybe thousands of people.
Correct.
Live.
Go on.
And we're going to, when the show moves, we're going to go from the proscenium to the full round. And she said, stand up. And I was like, what? She said, stand up. So I stood up. She said, turn around. and I turned around and she said, you're going to be fine. Meaning your ass is okay.
That's a good friend, Judy. That's a good friend.
Now, by the way, Ems, look at this. How nice this is. You want to read this, Jimmy?
We saw the show the night gay marriage became legal. Our daughter had not come out yet, but she is out and proud, and we are currently quarantined with her and her girlfriend.
Yeah!
I'll never forget that.
Oh my God.
What was it?
Oh.
It was amazing. And I remember had the rainbow flag and you ran around the stage and everyone stood on their feet and cheered at the curtain call. There were so many tears. It was incredible.
There you go.
We're going to talk about your trip down south, but just I thought you'd appreciate this one comment. Jimmy, can you read that?
It is my favorite Broadway musical ever, and I've seen over 100 in New York and on tour. By the way, I live in South Carolina.
We're going to talk about your southern trip. So we're going to talk about that later, but I'm going to go back for a second with Judy because Judy, the other story I would love you to tell, because I also think Emily will appreciate it because I don't think Emily's done enough morning shows to appreciate the craziness. Please tell your morning show story about Pocahontas when you're in full glamour.
You're really going all over the place.
Right? Well, my mind works. Keep going.
Okay, so this was when Pocahontas opened. And they did this crazy premiere in Central Park, and they huge screens made out of like those things that they put on container ships. They were several stories high.
Oh my God!
All the Good Morning America was broadcasting the show from Central Park, and I was singing "Colors of the Wind" on Good Morning America. And so I got up at the crack of dawn, went, spent hours, hair and makeup, sound check, the whole thing, and then waited. Well, the night before the premiere, there had been this torrential rainstorm. And of course, everyone at Disney was freaking out because they thought the whole thing might be a washout, so to speak. Anyway, but it was a beautiful day, so everyone was relieved. So they brought me into the tent, the holding tent, with my hair and makeup and all glammed up and ready to go on live TV. And we were with all these, handlers and whoever. We were walking through the door of the tent, and the person who was right in front of me brushed the side of the tent, and over the door was a flap that had been collecting water in it. And when she brushed that, just as I passed through, the water went.
No, Judy, what did you do?
The hair and makeup people just like swarmed around me. They grabbed me. They blew my hair dry. They patted me down. They touched up my makeup. I mean, it was insane. I just was standing. It was like an I Love Lucy moment. It was.
Oh my God. There's always such a buildup for those things, the anticipation of them.
Now, of course, then there wasn't the World Wide Web did not exist. And now if anybody looks at that video, which is on YouTube somewhere, you can see how my hair is slightly plastered to my head.
Do you mean this?
Ah!
You look great, Judy.
You set me up, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right, girl. She did not know. All right, so Jude, speaking of Pocahontas, I'm sure Emily maybe wasn't even born when it came out, but I'm sure
No, I was. I'm an old baby, Seth.
Well, whatever you're taping with, it's working.
Exactly.
Jude, will you do us a little songy song? I played the piano for you. I haven't even heard what it sounds like.
That. All right. Yes. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. As you know, I'm not particularly good at this. Here we go. Okay. You ready? Here we go. Wait, what's happening? What's happening? It's not working? Open?
Hold on. Don't worry, we have time. Find it.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear it? What I love most about rivers is you can't step in the same river twice. The water's always changing, always flowing. But people, I guess, can't live like that. They all must pay a price. To be safe, we lose our chance of ever knowing. Once around the river bend, waiting just around the river bend. Once more, just around the river bend, beyond the shore, where the gulls fly free. Don't know what for, what I dream the day might send, just around the river bend for me, coming for me. Let there be always trees right behind the waterfall. When I ignore that sound of distant drumming, your handsome, sturdy husband who built handsome, sturdy walls and never dreams that something might be coming. Just around the river bend, just around the river bend, I look once more. Just around the river bend, beyond the shore, somewhere past the sea. Don't know what for. Why do all my dreams extend just around the river bend? Just around the river bend. Should I choose the smoothest course, steady as a beating drum? Should I marry Cocoa? Is all my dreaming at an end? Or do you still wait for me, dream giver, just around the river Oh my God.
Hey.
I haven't sung that one in a while.
Do you have
got it.
So good.
Couldn't really hear the track at the end, but
You still got it, though.
Beautiful.
God, you still sound the same.
Well, you know what? While everyone's on, I'll read some donations that came on for the first batch for the Fun Home reunion. And you can put up comments.
And by the way, just so you know, this is like just a little smattering. These are not the only donations. They just sent us a little list of kind of like 10 people, just so you know.
So Brett from Virginia, $100. Brittany from California gave $25. Andy from Arizona, $20. Joseph from Florida, $100. Rachel from New York, $50. Jenny from Connecticut, $103. Anne from Oregon, $25. And Allison from Massachusetts just gave $500 to the Actors Fund. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Allison, of course.
We've heard almost every state. The only, and by the way, the minimum donation is $5. Feel free to donate $5, but I'd love to hear. I hear a lot of New York. I'd love to hear. We haven't heard of Kansas yet.
Oh.
We haven't heard any Dakotas.
Any West Virginia?
Minnesota. Is Minnesota a state?
Yes, Minnesota is the state.
I never heard of Minnesota. I can't remember if it's a city or not. Quiet.
Those
Okay, we're gonna bring on the doctor, the great Dr. LaPook. Judy, warm it down.
You didn't see that, did you?
Everyone stand by.
Okay, hold on. How do I do this?
Backstage. And it's going to take a while because he has to do it one at a time.
So, Michael, you'll be back.
Piecing out.
Beth, you'll be back. I love the fireplace.
Me too. My gosh.
Who's left? Judy Kuhn, you'll be back.
Judy Kuhn, and then you have to drop a low.
Sydney, you look adorable. You'll be back. And here we are. Bye, Emily. Peace out. You'll be back.
And now the chief medical correspondent for CBS News,
who was just on this morning at CBS and was amazing.
CBS
right at the beginning. CBS Sunday morning.
John LaPook.
Hi, Dr. John LaPook.
I'm gussied up because I just did a Zoom interview with a doctor who they just yesterday did the first transfusion into 2 critically ill patients with COVID of serum taken from people who had recovered. And he's waiting with bated breath and fingers crossed to see if it makes a difference. It's happening, folks. And he said there's a long line of people who want to donate. So people are amazing.
I have an actual question for you I want to ask, but you can finish what you want to talk about because I have to ask this question.
Here's what I want to talk about. First of all, I am going to watch the Facebook video on how to cut your own hair because it's really getting there.
My daughter Julie did that.
Well, yeah, Julie has a video. Today or tomorrow morning.
I'm going to embarrass you for 2 seconds and talk about the two of you. First of all, James, this is what I was meant to do. What a thing to be able to say when you said that earlier, when you discovered that this is for you. That's what everybody wants, right? You just want your kid, your kid to say that. So incredible. But the two of you, we talk about the psychological importance of what you're doing, and people need to have structure in their day, and they need to have something to look forward to. And there it is, 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Your amazing laugh is the best medicine I have ever seen, James. and Seth, your sassafras, to use your word, your razzmatazz, hot jazz, all the things that vaudeville has. It's just great, and it picks up my own spirit. My days are filled right now with there's not 6 minutes without some communication from somebody in some form. I'm waiting for the carrier pigeon to come in. Text, email, phone, you name it. So anyway, for me too, this is great. And anyway, I just hats off to you guys for doing this.
I actually really appreciate you saying that because we're always like, it's just nice to know that people do think about 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock because we don't see the audience. So it's just nice to know that. Anyway, that cheers me up. Thank you.
Well, I also know that it takes a lot of work for you because I get the link to this, 10 seconds before or 3 minutes after the show starts.
We have a small but mighty staff of volunteers.
That's right.
Okay, so I want to read this to you. So this is my sister's friend, Bennett. He wrote, I'm recovering from coronavirus. I would like to end my self-isolation, but don't want to put my family and others at risk. Government guidance is very inconsistent on when it's safe to end self-isolation, anything from 3 days to 2 weeks after symptoms resolve. What does the data say?
This is really hard. I'm talking to the CDC about this even as we speak. The guy, they're walking a line between they want to get people, especially first responders, back. On the other hand, the data is tough to figure out exactly what to do. I think that, and go to cdc.gov, but the latest that I looked was you need to be 72 hours without fever, without taking Advil or Tylenol. If you're taking those medicines, then, without taking an NSAID or something and people are talking about Tylenol or acetaminophen maybe being safer. I'm recommending that. Medical advice, but I am telling my patients to do that. Just because the NSAIDs can give you ulcers and other problems anyway. So 72 hours without fever, at least that your symptoms are improving, and at least 7 days since your symptoms began. Now, what you're referring to, what that very smart question is referring to, is that there is data that if you actually look at, is there still virus in the nasal passages, it could be much longer than that. And if you look at virus in the stool, it could be longer than that. So I think this is something you got to keep checking with the Department of Health, with the CDC on. But what I'm doing is I'm telling people to play it safe. I'd rather have them stay out at 14 days from when they first got sick. We don't quite know. We're in that terrible, as a physician, you want to say, sure, you have a question? Here's the answer. And we're in that sort of clinical judgment phase. You want to follow the guidelines. You don't want to deviate from that. On the other hand, if I follow the guidelines at least, and then in addition to that, put on another little buffer, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But we're, stay tuned, folks, for that guidance. And we want to have that algorithm of, how do you do things as a nation? What's the advice?
Okay, basically just be super, super cautious. Just over.
I do over because I got to tell you, there's going to be no place in America that's immune from getting this. And especially right now, we're the canary in the coal mine in New York City and the New York metropolitan area, the places on the East Coast getting hit hard. People out there who are watching, in that darker cartoon, the rest of the country,
Yeah, I love that.
It's going there. Of course, it's on the West Coast too. Washington was hit hard. LA is getting it now. But, I think everybody should say, we believe you. We believe it's happening. We also know there's no magical thinking. It's going to spread. Let's start doing all this advice, the social distancing, the washing your hands for 20 minutes, the sneezing into the crook of your arm or into a tissue. Do it now. And it's not business as usual. But what do we always say? Together.
Give you a beginning,
a middle, and an end. There will be. I promise you there will be. Bumpy road right now, but it's going to end.
You always, by the way, we keep looking over at our dog who's so itchy. That's why she keeps biting her nails.
We're trying to avoid a visit to the vet.
Although we've been hearing, by the way, just on a total side note, Daily News printed an article. They're doing visits to a vet where it's kind of on the street, so you can drop off your vet and keep safe distance, and they'll look at the dog without you coming in contact. Just as a side note.
Yeah, I think we're going to call our vet in the city, and I think we want to have them on the show to see how they're handling this, because it's a big deal. And part of the article was people are home more than they have been before. So they're looking at their animals with more fear.
And then sneezed, and they're bringing the dog in.
I get it. And we're trying to, because I know you want to go back, I'll give you the segue. We're trying to have fun home. Back to them.
Oh, I just got it. Okay, thank you.
And on that note, Dr. LaPook.
Toss.
We're going to see you tomorrow. Well, we'll see you tonight with your dog. Thank you, Dr. LaPook. We love you. Okay.
And on this note,
should I go plug it in?
Well, hold on. So because we changed this around, we actually do not have the laptop plugged in. And when you see a little red battery saying 18%, I think we may have to get the other computer. But you know what, Seth, you carry on.
I can sort of do this. I know we can sit like this.
We're going to sit with a wire right between us. Okay,
yes, it's fine. It's sort of like we're Orthodox and there's a sheet. Or mechitza. Anybody mechitza? Get back to me. Okay, thank you. Where were we? Fun reunion.
Oh my goodness, that's what we're doing right here.
Okay, so now I'm going to bring on Ms. Sydney Lucas.
What's up?
Wait, what's up? Sydney. And Mr. Sydney Lucas. What? Michael Cerberus.
What's up?
Well, that's a surprise to everybody.
Exactly. So it's daddy and daughter. So a couple of things. So Sydney, you were nominated for a Tony. How the hell old were you?
I was 11.
Wow.
That was one of the most brilliant Tony performances I've literally ever seen. And Michael Cerberus.
Me reading the paper?
Yeah,
exactly.
Certainly my finest Tony performance ever.
Was that did you win your second Tony Award for that, Michael Cerberus?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, where are you? Where are you in New Orleans right now? New York? Where are you?
No, I'm by the banks of the Susquehanna River in eastern Pennsylvania, about 2.5 hours northwest of New York. I left on Wednesday.
Do you have your Tony Awards with you?
No, they're fighting the good fight at home.
Just wanted to know. So Sydney Lucas, I love it. I got an email I guess from your mom with like the most amazing subjects that we could talk about. And like, I'm completely obsessed with every single story. Because like, tell me, okay, so first of all, talk about the traps on stage.
Oh, yeah, we had a couple problems with the traps. Like, for example, one, do you know the song Raincoat of Love?
Yes, I know the show very well. Yes.
Okay. So like during Raincoat of Love, I'm standing on stage, kind of like going like this and going like ba 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 whatever. And Joelle, Roberta, and Emily, they're all coming up on this middle trap.
It's like a trap door, by the way. People don't know what a trap is.
Yeah, trap door leads from the stage to like the basement, and it takes things up and down. It's like an elevator, kind of. Anyway, so all those people were coming up on the middle trap, and like halfway through, it just stopped, like completely stopped, and all you could see was like their heads, and they were like still doing their dance moves. And then we had to stop the show for like 5 minutes, and then and we started talking to the audience. We started singing songs, and then Lisa Dawn, the stage manager, like got on the God mic and was like, "All right, you can." Once they got the trap to work again, she was like, "Okay, continue," and we're like, okay.
Wait, stop and show. Now you're reminding me, Michael. Now I'm reminded of you. Can you tell everybody about when you did Tommy in Germany and like the stagehands?
Well, there were a couple of disasters over the years in Tommy. There was the stagehands in Germany who were wonderful, wonderful people, but they had musical theater isn't done with the same regularity in Germany that it is certainly not in Offenbach, Germany, outside Frankfurt, as it is in New York. So to find crew, they would find people who, applied for a job at the auto plant the day before, and then they applied for a job at the Tommy Theater, and then the next day they'd apply at the bread factory or whatever. And they just happened to get the job at Tommy. So they weren't familiar with the way it worked necessarily. And there was one cross that the one of the actresses had going from one side of the stage to the other, like had to tear off and like exit and run around the crossover in the back and come to the other side. And there was a stagehand in the way one night, and she ran smack into him in the dark. And the guy felt terrible, and he said, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And she said, "Yeah, I it's okay. I totally understand. But I have to make this cross really quickly." And he said, "I totally understand." So the next night, she exits, she runs around, runs smack into him again, because he didn't quite get that was going to happen every night. That's sort of the way this goes.
He didn't know what a show was. He didn't know.
No, he was like, this was a nicer job than the auto factory. So,
Wait, I have to keep asking you, Michael, because now you're talking about trapdoor with the head. Please tell Sydney about your. I remember all my stories because Michael and I do shows together. He's amazing. We do shows. We've done them I feel like everywhere, like New Orleans, private sound. Please tell her about when you first did Tommy. Your amazing entrance.
Well, this is my very first time on a Broadway stage. It was the Gypsy Run for Tommy in the afternoon before our first preview that night. And so my first entrance, I kind of like would appear from behind the armoire and like be lifted up and land on top of it. My second entrance, I tumbled in somersaulting from the wings. And so I started, and it was a really complicated thing. One crew member this was like before there was electricity on Broadway. So there was one crew guy handling the up and down motion for me, another guy with ropes, another guy...
With ropes?
Yeah. Another guy handling the on-stage, off-stage, and then another person just carrying my weight and lifting me up in the air. So they all had to coordinate for me to like land at the right place on the stage on my feet at the right time. And it was really complicated. And they were, I literally trusted my life to them, and they were great. But the first time in front of any audience, one of the cables got hung up on a light. So I started my tumbling in and then just stopped and hung there in midair. And the band tried to keep playing for a while and had to eventually just stop. And so I'm just like hanging there like a sack of potatoes. And then very slowly in their attempts to make it better, they just turned me around so that my butt was just facing the audience. So I'm like hanging there in midair in these white jeans, just with literally my ass hanging out for all of like my peers, all the gypsies, all of the, all of the other, chorus and company people of all the other shows. So that was my introduction to Broadway, and it's only been downhill since then.
And 2 Tony Awards. Okay, so by the way, Cindy Lucas, do you ever watch Downton Abbey?
I haven't watched it, but my parents went through this like watching like a binge. But I
love it.
Haven't
Someone
watched
just
it.
wrote Cindy looks like a young Michelle Dockery, and now I totally agree.
Yeah.
I have to look that up. I don't know what that is.
She's beautiful. So, Michael, I want you to sing the lullaby that you sang in our show when we did in Provincetown. Was it cut from the show?
Well, kind of. It stayed in the show as just a little fragment that Bruce sings to Allison to get her to go to sleep before he sneaks out into the night in New York. And I always thought it was just sort of some old children's lullaby. And I asked Janine and Lisa, and they said, oh, no, we wrote it. It used to actually be a full song that Bruce sang, I think, towards the end of the show, I believe, like in an early incarnation of it, early workshop of it. And I said, well, would you mind if, would you just give the whole thing to me? And they did. And I just thought it sounded like this kind of country waltz lullaby thing. So my band Loose Cattle recorded it, and we did a video with all of the Fun Home kids that sadly Sydney was gone by the time we did it. So we didn't get to have her. But so it's become a part of we recorded it, and Allison did a sleeve for the 45 and stuff. So it's been a part of my band's repertoire for a long time.
Okay, so I want you to perform it. So, Sydney, do you want to be young Allison? Will you repeat your role?
You want to go to sleep?
Yeah. Night, guys.
Good night.
All right. This is also with this additional verse that Lisa wrote for us to do.
I've never heard this before, so.
Have you never?
No, I've never.
Oh.
Wait, is it weird to keep you on screen while he sings to you, or is it good? Michael, do you want her there for acting reasons, or it's bizarre?
No, it's great.
Okay. Now, should I be the guy that's waiting for you right after the lullaby?
Oh my gosh.
On the street? No. That's part of it. He's literally leaving. I'm the young, hot Christopher Street. All right, bye.
I mean, I always was imagining you. Like, just so you know, that's what I was always thinking.
Hey.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
There's a moon o'er the prairie, shining so brightly. Moon o'er the prairie, so big and so bright. And I'd pray that old moon to shine straight through the dawn. 'Cause first light tomorrow, my love will be gone. Pony girl, ride away. I know you'd break my heart one day. Some folks get the call to go. Some folks, they're bound to stay. Oh, oh. Ride away. Ride away. When you were a young girl, dreamed you some mountains, dreamed you a trail running straight to the sea. But you're tired of my dreaming, you're leaving for true. The first light tomorrow, now what can I do? Pony girl, ride away. I knew you'd break my heart someday. Some folks get the call to go. Some folks, they're bound to stay. Ride away. Ride away. Ride away. Ride away. Now go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep now.
Daddy's got an appointment. Michael, that's so pretty. I want to. We're going to do option stuff later, but I just want to talk about your thing right now. So your recording of that, people can actually buy and tell you what you're going to do for the Actors Fund. Yeah,
all the sales from that and all of our Loose Cattle catalog that's at Bandcamp. It's loosecattle@bandcamp.com. We'll give all of those proceeds to the Actors Fund. So you can download digital versions of all our records. You can order the hard copies of it, although it'll take me a while to be able to send them to you again, but I will send them. But all of that money will go to the Actors Fund, and especially the Pony Girl 45. It's a vinyl 45, like the old school, and it's myself and Kimberly Kay, who's my co-band leader, sings St. James Infirmary, an old New Orleans song on the other side. And the sleeve was designed by Alison Bechtel herself. So
it's just easier for me. I Googled it. It comes right up. If you just Google Loose Cattle, you'll find the link.
You'll find it.
Rather than remembering everything else. So listen,
Michael, you made me cry.
Oh,
sweet daddy and daughter.
I didn't go to sleep.
What? Why? Yeah.
No, it never worked. She always, as soon as I closed the door, she was up.
I know.
Our dog has to go outside, ignore James. So listen, I'm going to just bring on the cast for a second because Dr. LaPook keeps saying how important it is to keep in touch with all of your loved ones. So I'm going to bring everyone so everyone can see each other. And we think it's very important to keep in touch with your loved ones. So I'm going to go away for a second and you can keep.
We just talk to each other. Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, awesome.
Emily, you're muted.
Lisa and Janine.
There you go.
Hey.
Lisa and Janine are watching. I just texted you pictures of all of them watching.
No, is it?
Is it? Could it be?
She's as mysterious as ever.
Is it happening?
This
What a tease.
I was in touch with Allison and she was supposed to be on, and she wrote at the beginning of the show that they're having a power outage in Vermont.
You're getting rid of it, right?
Wait. That's spooky.
Hold on. Let's see.
Oh, wait, hold on. That's depressing.
Like she was trying.
That's depressing.
I keep FaceTiming with my parents, you guys, and my dad spends half the time doing stuff like this. And like,
of course he does. Hi, Gary.
Wait a minute. This is supposed to work. I know she has a damn power outage. Hold on, I'm gonna try one more damn time.
Hasn't she been through enough?
That's funny, Michael.
Hey, Sydney, didn't you have to leap over one of the open traps once?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Remember that story?
One of the worst moments I've ever experienced on the stage. Bar.
Your ninja-like reflexes?
Yeah, I don't know. Beth, did you? I remember you telling me. I'll tell the story, but Beth, I remember you telling me. I remember looking back at you and you still in character, like, what's going on? You just not to see what happened.
You were on the other
side. Me at the piano.
Hey, ladies,
Yeah.
we can't talk at the same time because the volume doesn't work. You first.
What, me?
Sure,
Judy.
Sydney, it was a scene. Sydney was going from one scene to a scene with me at the piano. And she was making the cross across the stage in the semi-dark.
Yeah.
And the piece of scenery that's by the piano had gone down and the trap was stuck and it didn't close. And I was looking down sewing and I heard someone behind me shout. And I looked up, and just as I looked up, Sydney went like this and leapt over the hole in the stage.
Okay, so I didn't purposefully leap over the trap. What happened was I was walking on. I had a notepad in my hand and a crayon in my other hand, and I was walking on, and it was the dark. The lights hadn't come up yet, and I saw the spotlight was going insane in front of me. I was like, "What is going?"
Right.
Like, this spotlight person. His name is Chris, by the way. He saved my life. I was like, this spot guy, why is this spot guy? He's got to get his stuff together, man. I was like, what's going on? It's supposed to be on me. And last minute, because the spotlight was going crazy in front of me, I look up and I'm already full momentum stepping into a trap door that never closed. This had never happened before. I don't know what happened. I think I don't know. I just reached my leg out and just leaped, and I grabbed onto the piano, and then Judy was like, are you okay?
Sydney just landed. She was looking at me like this.
I was.
And I just looked at her. I was like, you okay? She was like,
she asked me like a bajillion times if I was okay. And I looked back at Michael and Beth, who
go off stage.
Well, that's after, I mean, everybody had been so careful from the beginning because we knew what a dangerous set it was, and Sam was so good at like taking care of everybody. And I'd had that one thing in tech where my leg went into the one little trap, and it wasn't bad, but it was enough to remind us how dangerous it all was. So we had done everything we thought to make it safe, and still, there were moments, really. And edges was always like, just hope we survive it.
That was one fast thinking follow spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of keeping in touch with loved ones,
Chris Doombros. My dad bought him a scotch. So, yeah.
Talisker 25.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily like make up for like saving my life, but
it's a start.
Yeah, and the crew guys down in the basement, I heard them yell as I jumped over the trap, but they were like down there like ready to catch me. And and then I was like shaking. I was like, what's gonna happen? And then the stage manager goes, carry on. I go, what? And then we just
okay, so wait. So in terms of keeping in touch with loved ones, we have these are some people you may recognize. This is a shout out to all the people, all the healthcare workers on the front lines, and it's featuring some folks that I think you will recognize if I can only find it on my amazingness. It's this, right? No, it's this. Okay. Here we go. Enjoy, everybody, from Fun Home.
Thank you to our heroes.
The defenders on the front line, the nurses and the doctors, we owe gratitude for your selflessness, your empathy, your bravery, your sacrifice. We thank you.
Oh, that's so nice.
We have always had the best family.
I'm going to keep bringing the blank out.
Do you guys remember the night after? Do you remember after the Tony nominations when we had all the traps were broken and we had to restage the show in 3 hours with no traps to keep? It was crazy.
I thought they were bringing us in early to like celebrate the fact that we won Best Musical. I'm like, oh, and then they were like, so we have to restage the show. What?
Or the night that we did it totally acoustic with no power for the band.
Water got in the soundboard.
Yeah.
You guys are so cute all together. So, okay, who can lead the story? Well, Beth, this is your first time on. Beth, will you lead the story about how you guys all went down south? I'm obsessed with that story, and I think it's so inspiring to everybody watching.
Well, Michael should lead it because he made it happen. It was the College of Charleston. It was the freshman class being assigned the graphic novel, Fun Home, and a bunch of donors for that college pulling their funding. And I don't know who got in touch with us about it. How did we learn about it?
Well, it started online. There was like a tweet about it from people down in Charleston, and I had seen it, and I think I retweeted it and said, hey, anybody up for a road trip?
Yeah.
And that kind of like sparked the discussion, and then Allison got involved, and the producers got involved. I think initially the college was hoping to get the rights to do a kind of staged reading of it, and the producer said, well, how about if instead we bring the company down to do a kind of conversation with Allison and Lisa and Janine and all of us, and it ended up being essentially a performance of most of the show, and Allison and
back to back.
Yeah, two of them, and for sold out audiences. And it was amazing thing. And I was thinking about that a lot because it's so frustrating right now. I mean, what you guys are doing, Seth, is so extraordinary and meaning so much to so many people. But it's so frustrating that in this particular moment, the thing that was so great that I learned about going down to Charleston, and when we went down to Orlando too, and did the show down there, just brought the show down to perform after the horrific events there. It's just what a difference it makes to show up in person. It's one thing, and it's a great thing to send money and to send resources, but to be able to literally stand with people in their community and say, we are literally here with you and for you, means so much. And that's the thing that we can't do right now. Hold each other, stand by each other, and so we're finding beautiful ways to do that in other ways, and we will have the time to do it again, I know, but right now it's so hard.
But this is it, and by the way, look, someone from South Carolina is listening. So Beth, if you would just give us a version of just how you got this show, because it is such. By the way, the fire literally looks like you have a video in back of you. What? Crazy.
It's funny because I was looking through. I had a whole bunch of time on my hands recently, so that's why I've been shooting pictures to my friends. I've been texting old pictures from 2015. And I went back into my old photos and I found my actual audition for Fun Home because it was a video. I sent in a actual. I'll send it to you guys. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Yes, you must. I can't believe we haven't seen it ever.
I know. I think I tried to play it in the dressing room. Maybe I played it because it was on my iPad. Anyway, I had to do like Allison used to do these video blogs. The real Allison Bechtel, which we call T-Rad. So the real Allison Bechtel did a video blog, and I think Lisa for the audition.
Oh, hold on. Hello? Wait, how do I do it? Oh my gosh, wait. Hold on, this is like the real deal. Connecting. Hold on. Sorry, Beth.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if we can.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. There we go.
Hey.
Hi. Awesome.
It's right
Hey, Al.
Hello.
Where are you, Allison Bechtel?
Seth Rudetsky, I am in my house in Vermont. We're having a power outage. I can't get online. I'm in the dark.
Oh no!
Really
Nothing stops her.
Exactly. I can't hear.
You are,
so
but
wonderful to see everyone.
Hold on, it's so wonderful to see everyone, even though she can't actually see everyone.
I love you so much.
So I'll say this for Allison. So we're doing these auctions now, where if you go to starsinthehouse.com, people are just doing, like it began with Joanna Gleason donating the staff from Into the Woods, Audrey McDonald donating the baby from Ragtime. And look what Allison just sent me that she's going to put up. There's Allison. I'm going to show you what she sent for. She's going to auction this off. It's the original. Take a look.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
I love that.
It's Allison. It's.
Remember when we posed for that?
Do you remember when you posed for that?
Yeah.
I'll take it for $1 million.
This is so great that it sort of works in a very, very vague. By the way, Allison, you look exactly like Beth Malone. It looks like two of the same people right there. And by the way,
could be on the computer with everyone. I'm so sorry.
you know what? We'll do another reunion. People are so obsessed with the show. We'll bring you back, and we'll actually have an Oberlin reunion. You, me, and Judy, and we'll talk about Dascom. There we go. All right, Allison, thank you for trying to make it work. We so appreciate it. Bravo.
It's amazing that she could.
Yeah.
So Beth, I just wanted you to tell your crazy ass. Basically, I want Beth to tell the story about how she basically quit the business. Beth was out of the business, and she's like, the last thing I'm going to do is this musical about lesbians, this really sweet show. It was supposed to go to Broadway. The whole thing failed, and it was her last gasp stop on this rickety-rackety tour. And where the hell was that musical done?
It was in Asbury Park, in a carousel that got washed away with her.
Oh yeah, I remember that place.
Remember that? It used to be a theater. There was a theater.
So she's doing this musical in Asbury Park, and she's like, this is the last time we'll ever perform again. I thought I was going to go to Broadway, but this is the last stop, rickety-rackety theater outdoors, Asbury Park. And who's in the actual audience? Go.
Opening night, it happened to be Lisa Kron, happened to be vacationing in Asbury Park. And she and her sweetheart, and I think, who else was it? It was, I can't remember who else it was. But they were there opening night. And then I got home, the show did its thing, it closed, I went back to LA. I literally was putting together my CV so I could like teach college. And my agent, who I never heard from, I have to say, they told me, like, hey, do you want to put yourself on tape for this reading at the public? And I was like, sure. And I got it. And I got the stuff in my inbox, and I know Janine Tesori is listening right now. So she sent me a file that sounded like this, and it's Janine singing, right angle of the leg, the gathers in his sweater, were his glasses round, no, square across the top, bump, 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 half moon, and me, striped shirt, natch, watching dad, thought balloon. Daddy, comma, hey, daddy, come here. Okay. So that is the first thing I heard. And I was like, oh, what is it? What is it? It's so good. It's so God. I can't not listen to it again. And I was like, I got to be in this, whatever it is. And that's what happened. Like the first thing was like me doing an Alison Bechtel video blog monologue, pretty much 2-camera going, this is me taking a picture of myself, drawing myself after I posed for myself.
I remember that. I remember when the show was like that.
That ended up in the very first reading that we did, Judy. That monologue was my audition. So it was
I just love how you're like, I'm through with the business and Tony nomination. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. By the way. This is my new obnoxious thing I'm doing. Because I'm sort of fascinated with the brain and how shows are fully memorized. And I'm curious, like, when does a show finally leave your head? So I'm going to test you all on shows you've done in the past. And
look at Judy. And look at Michael.
We're going to see.
Okay.
Yeah, the old ones.
That the reason I was sort of going like this all the time when I was singing Just Around the River Bend is because all the words are taped up on the wall. I don't remember them anymore.
I thought you were playing to the box seats. Okay, so Michael Service, you're first.
Okay.
So I'll begin, you finish. Then again, we could be foolish
not to quit while we're ahead.
For
what?
Distance.
Really? I don't think I ever sang that.
Okay, so that was one.
Sorry, Andrew.
Wow. You lasted a measure.
That's right. Not even that.
How about this speech? Argentinos.
Well, first of all, it was Argentinos.
Oh, okay,
Michael.
So do not
Burn, Michael.
Argentinos. We are all Two Tony Awards. Okay.
Listen, I had to learn a lot of Sondheim lyrics. I just didn't have room. I had to just start dumping things.
Oh, by the way, it began so confidently on pitch, amazing vibrato, and then silence.
And then that's kind of how it was in performance too.
He really thought that you would know it because I just had to take four pages of music. He thought that you'd be able to sing
picked like two of the most obscure moments in the whole thing for me.
Sydney.
Yes.
I heard someone crying.
Who could it be? Who no one seems to see.
Maybe it was love.
Wait, okay, so we're singing different things, but we're both right.
Okay. Both sides. Okay. How's your last phrase? I heard someone crying. Resolve it. Maybe.
What?
Resolve it. Maybe it was.
Oh, maybe it was she or he.
Me!
Oh, it was me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I feel so much better now that the youngest brain.
Well, and Sydney had to mind like a steel trap learning things, as I recall. So
That was so annoying, Michael. I remember, like, geez, in like rehearsals, if you like faltered for a second, like if you like paused for a second with the line, I'd be like, "Yes, this is your line." This one, it's this.
Yeah, I remember that too. With love.
Like I can bend my fingers back.
Like I can.
You guys catch up later. Beth Malone. Here's a part you played back in the day. So get out and stay out. You were the star of this damn show.
Not in a million years.
I had enough.
I'm what? Nope.
Okay. Complete silence.
Watch Judy actually know more lyrics than anyone else.
Yeah, probably.
She's gonna.
Does he know I'm alive? Do I know if it's real?
Does it? Wait. Does he know that I feel? Does he know how I feel?
What I feel. I know that one. I don't know.
There are so many. I don't know where we are in the song.
I'm no longer alone.
Now my love is a find me now, find me here.
Okay, that was very good.
Judy.
Oh, the love of my life is so near. Is that right?
Yeah, okay, how about this? I'm gonna just mute everybody so we can really see what this sounds like. Here we go. Here's the challenge, Judy Kuhn.
Oh.
Not a dream.
You muted her.
Oh, wait. Hold on, I muted you.
You muted Judy.
That was passive aggressive. Not a dream. Yes!
Yeah, Judy!
You still got it! Okay, Beth's loving it. All right, Beth, you're our final performance. Emily, I know you're on vocal rest. Beth, you were just doing Unsinkable Molly Brown. You were brilliant. Your show closed before you thought it was going to close because of everything that's going on.
I think that may have been the last time we saw Beth and Judy.
Oh my God, we were there opening night with Judy.
So Beth,
this is so
okay,
cute.
this is a story. I gotta be able to see Beth better. I gotta put on my glasses. So we were there on opening night. That was it was just like what, a month ago?
But it was the winter and he's wearing a
winter and I was wearing the coat and
sweater.
And I wanted to be there for Beth, but I needed to go get a little bit of air. So I was going to the lobby. Seth and I were in the very back, so I knew it wouldn't disturb anyone, right? So I go to the lobby. I just needed to get some air before Beth's next big number. And I literally run into Beth Malone in costume, about to make an entrance. She looks at me as if she were in the audience. James gives me a big hug. And I thought I had been like caught by the principal, like sneaking out, but I wasn't. And I just said, I'm sorry, I'm just hot. And she immediately, she knew.
It was really hot. And then I went to the house manager and I was like, it's hot. I was leaving. That's it. And nobody was
crazy. She went from chatting with James to literally immediately on stage during 11 o'clock number with no transition.
But Beth,
get the fucking air on. This is my dog, Vicious. And guess what? So today we adopted a dog named Molly Brown.
oh,
Yay!
oh.
The Terrible has a sister now. We've been
Where
trying
is
to
she?
figure out what we can do. Shelly's got her in the bedroom.
Evie.
But Shelly, bring her out. I'll have Shelly bring her out.
We bring all the dogs
Get
out.
my cat.
So.
Yeah, the end of the show, we bring out the dogs.
Yeah.
All right, so Beth, give us a taste of the show that many people didn't get to see because it closed before it was supposed to close.
Oh, a taste of it? Oh, you want me to do it?
Yes.
Here comes Molly Brown now. Look. This is my baby child. Oh,
Come here, Bubba.
and her name was Molly at the shelter, and we got her, and her name is still Molly. Hi, meow. Okay, I'm getting up my thing. Terrible dog.
Bud. Come here, Bud.
Lisa
Bud.
Brown was texting me that she loved that story, and it was Lee Silverman that was with her. It was Lee Silverman that was with her the night that she came to see
Of
me.
Asbury Park, yes.
Yes. All right. It's gonna take. I don't know.
You were
Joey,
so amazing in this show, man.
thank you. Thank you. It's a drag. I should be doing it right now. I should be on stage as we speak.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you are on stage in front of a lot more people because you had a small theater. This is worldwide, man.
Okay, ready? I ain't
Yeah,
down yet. Sure, I'm puckered and I might give out. I won't give it. How can anybody say that I'm down? Look, I'm thinking very hard how to break through. Maybe here, maybe there, maybe no place. But there come a time where nothing or nobody wants me down like I wants me up. Up where the people are, up where the talking is, up where the joke's going on. Now look to here, I am important to me. Whoops. I am important to me. Ain't no bottom to no pile. I mean much more to me than I mean to anybody I ever knew. Certainly more than I mean to any Star Wars Jedi like you guys. Go ahead, break my arm. You say, Uncle? Ha! Don't make a bit of difference. You keep saying I'm down till I say so too. I said, ever try stepping on piss out? There's one now. Jumping, stomping, thinking you got him, thinking he quit. He don't think so. There he goes. And you can be positive. Sure, I'm as good as any pissant that ever lived. Oh, I hate that word down. But I love that word up. Because up means hope. And that's just what I got. Hope. For someplace better. Someplace, I don't know. Cleaner. Shinier. Hell, if I gotta eat catfish heads all my life, can I have them off a plate? Just once, in a red silk dress, when there's girl enough on me to wear one. And then someday, with all my might and all my might, I'm gonna learn to read and write. I'm gonna see what there is to see. So if you go from nowhere on the road to somewhere and you meet anyone, you'll know it's me. I'm gonna move from place to place to find a house with a golden stair. And if that house is red and has a big brass bed, I'm moving there. It's a lot of high belting in my This is Joey Chansey. He sent me this track. Oh shit, it's not Joey. There he is. That's Joey. He was our it's not live. To show. Oh wait, that you know. Full step. You gotta show you know. So I'm gonna learn to read and write. I'm gonna see what there is to see. So if you go from nowhere on the road to somewhere and you meet anyone, you'll know it's me. I'm gonna move from place to place to find a house with a golden stair. And if that house is real and has a big grass bed, I'm moving there. My name.
Yay!
We're in Snowmass, Colorado right now, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
night they were supposed to come see it. They came over and I sang it over the balcony for them.
Oh,
Oh,
So brilliant. All right, we have more donations.
hey Beth, in honor of all of you, actually, here's some more donations. And before we all say goodnight, so thanks for giving to the Actors Fund tonight. Kathy from West Virginia, $25.
yay!
Margaret from Florida, $103. Look at that. Fang from Maine, $25.
Hey, Fang.
Rosemary from Michigan, $25. Jared from Ohio, $51. Chris and Tammy from Iowa,
Iowa. I want the Midwest donation. I love that.
$103. Kelly from Florida, $44. And Robin from New York, $25. And listen to this.
Well, by the way, this Beth Malone, this must be a friend of yours because from your home state.
Liz from Colorado just donated $1,000.
Hey, Liz.
Wait, sorry.
Go, Judy, go.
No, I wanted to. Did you want me to talk about the donation?
Oh, right.
Yes. So here's the deal. So we have the auction. We have Michael Service. Go to Loose Cattle, Google it. And if you buy anything from Loose Cattle, it's going to the Actors Fund. We have, wait, what else? Wait,
We should be saying-
it's Judy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I forgot the Allison Bechtel. We have the Allison Bechtel. I knew there was something else.
Yes.
There's that amazing print. Look at that. It's the it's the 4 Allisons.
Right.
It's an original sketch. And it's like on the actual tracing paper. And she's going to mount it and everything. And everything's going to be delivered after the crazy virus. But you go to starsinthehouse.com for it. Judy Kuhn, I'm so excited. Talk about what's around the riverbank.
I have this leather jacket that Disney gave me. It's a Pocahontas jacket. It says feature animation crew on the back.
Wow.
Pocahontas here. It's leather. It's sort of big on me. Donate it.
That's amazing. Wow.
It's so great. You guys have been amazing. So many wonderful comments. Thank you so much. You guys have always been so giving. They're Orlando, everything. So get the Fun Home album if you don't have it, people, and get the actual graphic novel. And we got to announce stars this week.
Yeah, so tomorrow, matinee, we have Charles Bush, Julie Halston, and Ian Armitage, Young Sheldon.
Oh, wow.
Judy Kuhn, a special classical pianist, Jeffrey Beagle. We're having a little Oberlin action. So he's not from Oberlin.
And then tomorrow night is our first TV reunion. And Mary Lou Henner has grabbed the entire cast herself, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, Danny DeVito, Carol Kane, who did I miss? And Judd Hirsch. 18
Wow.
We're all going to be here tomorrow night.
The cast of Taxi. So keep tuning in.
Amazing.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, and we got to say, I got to do one person. Dr. John LaPook. I'm going to get rid of myself. So it's Dr. John LaPook can say goodbye. Hold on.
Yes.
Let me get rid of myself. How do I do that? I think I do that.
We have so many people.
It's so hard to control this sometimes.
Wait till tomorrow.
Oh, he's gone.
Hi guys. Hey guys. What's up?
Hey.
Dogs. It have to
Thanks, Doctor.
Hi, Judy.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.